You are listening to BRTV podcast brought to you by BrilliantRead.com. Investment in knowledge pays best interest, said Benjamin Franklin. And this is exactly what we strive to do at Brilliant Read. We bring stories, facts, advice, and lessons from successful entrepreneurs, investors, coaches, and mentors. So this week we have with us Amit Bansal, who is the CEO and co-founder of MediGence, which is a health tech startup. Prior to MediGence, he was a director with a Fortune 500 company. He has over 20 years of experience in this space. So let's hear his story and find out more about MediGence and his advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. Amit, thank you very much for accepting our invite and being here.
Good morning, Harsh. How are you doing today?
I'm absolutely fine. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me with you today to discuss about a journey, and I'm excited about it. Thank you.
And first of all, thank you for taking time out for this podcast, for this interview with Brilliant Read. That's really valuable for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, Amit, share with our audience what was the idea behind starting something like MediGence, and give us a background about you as well. What made you delve into entrepreneurship and explore these phases?
All right, my name is Amit Bansal, and as Harsh introduced me, I am the CEO of MediGence. We are a technology-driven medical assistance company helping people worldwide who are in need of a medical treatment overseas. So they may travel for many reasons. It could be due to poor quality of treatment available in the country. It could be related to cost, or it could be related to some preference. What made us start MediGence is basically, I've spent close to 20 years in the industry. I've been to the world. I've spent a lot of time working with international customers, and quite a few of them has been the healthcare customers in Europe, in America, in Australia, India, Southeast Asia. So my role has always been, in customer relationship, in deploying solutions, managing projects. So I've always been fascinated about healthcare industry, to be very honest. So if you look at the size of healthcare industry, it's always growing, and it's perhaps one of the largest healthcare, one of the largest vertical in the world today. But yet the most untapped industry when it comes to technology. Having said that, Harsh, the scope of technology in improving human life in healthcare is phenomenal. There's a lot of scope. And with the advent of artificial intelligence, machine learning, voice-enabled solutions, it is getting excited. So what made me start MediGence? That's a good question. After spending close to 2 decades in the industry, I want to do something on my own, not just to make money. Of course, I'm not doing charity, so I would not say that I started this just for the community. But the whole idea behind starting MediGence was to do some contribution in the industry, and we intentionally picked up medical travel as a particular vertical because we realized that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. People from all over the world traveling, even though from countries like US with such an advanced healthcare infrastructure, you would see that thousands and thousands of people from America going outside for the medical treatment, and a lot of thousands of people traveling to America for the treatment. So it's inbound and outbound. So likewise in UK, then you have Africa, you have Middle East. So it's a multi-dimensional environment where people are traveling from almost every country to every country for medical treatment based on their preference. Preference could be a budget, preference could be a country, preference could be a hospital, a doctor, preference could be any, right? So we picked up medical travel because we realized that there is a huge scope of implementing technology to improve patient experience. And that made us start MediGence, and right from the day when we have been working on innovations, building technologies, we have been always, working around creating better patient experience, leveraging a strong technology understanding.
Right. And does your startup also solve some of the problems faced by the patients when it comes to seeking second opinion or something of that sort?
Oh, yes. I mean, as I said, Harsh, we have a very strong technology in place,
Right.
which eventually helps patients the moment they are diagnosed with some terminal or non-terminal illness until recovery. Okay, so
Right.
there are multiple touch points, and you can imagine somebody is diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, and he's advised to travel overseas, and unfortunately, he has never been overseas. Forget the medical purpose; he has never been overseas. So how difficult it is for that person to explore the geographies, to explore the best doctor, to explore the best hospital. So it is very important to provide that level of comfort among a bigger chunk of the community to create better awareness, to empower them with the right information, and to really give them that missing confidence. That hey, if you decide to travel to America, or if you decide to travel to Dubai, this is the best place, this is the best doctor, this is the best price. So just to answer your question, yes, we do facilitate second opinion using a product code, which has the option to organize a video call with the doctor on a click of a button. You know, so that this is something which we have been doing for quite some time.
Right, that's perfect. Thank you very much for sharing all that insight with us. Um, Elaborate a bit on the role of technology in creating a better patient experience, Amit, to us. How does technology help create a better user engagement and user experience for patients and everyone?
All right, so probably I'll go back and elaborate it in a little different, with a little different approach, so that users who are listening to this podcast or watching this video can probably understand the whole context of where I'm actually coming from, and what we have been working upon to achieve as an outcome as an organization. See, if you look at the patient experience, I would correlate this with the consumer behavior or consumer experience, like somebody booking a cab from a comfort of home on a click of a button using Uber. So you can imagine, I mean, a decade ago it was never a possibility, but now it is like it takes you not more than 5 to 10 seconds to book a cab. A driver standing outside your house calling you, "Sir, cab is here." You sit down, you get down at the destination, you don't pay because you are integrated with the Paytm or any digital wallet. So this is the experience. Likewise, if you ask me, I mean, I hate going out for the shopping. So I use Amazon quite often to buy stuff made when I'm really short of time, because as an entrepreneur, how complicated your life is. You're always on job. There's nothing like Saturday and Sunday. So the whole idea, as you can see here, somebody booking a cab on a click of a button, somebody doing shopping, and if they don't like the product, they can return it and they get the refund. So it all contributes to the experience, correct? Now, if I go back to the original answer of the role of technology in creating the best patient experience, see what happens, Harsh. When a patient travels from a particular country to some country for a treatment, there are typical multiple stages involved. Like the initial stage is the pre-treatment stage, where where somebody's diagnosed, somebody's exploring, somebody's sending emails, somebody's talking with healthcare providers or talking to multiple healthcare providers in multiple countries, and then they decide with one particular facility in a country to go ahead with. And then they eventually travel, and then when they find themselves in a country, they get treatment. They're bombarded with a lot of medical reports, the billings, and a lot of information. They're bombarded with, and then they go back to the country. Now, going back to the country is like you're going miles. You're back to your country, and the accessibility to your treating doctor becomes a distant dream. So what we have realized, what we as an tech innovation organization, we have very carefully captured those moments in a patient journey, like where all can we support patient more effectively to help them take the right healthcare decision. Why should they travel to India? Why shouldn't they travel to Dubai? Or why should they travel to Dubai? Why shouldn't they travel to Germany? These are some of the tough questions or tough decisions, or I would say, yeah, some of the tough decisions patient may come across, to take a right decision. So technology is a major role to play because you can capture those moments. You can enable the information accessibility, information traceability, easy for the patient. You can bring a level of comfort by helping them to connect with the choice of doctors, with the healthcare providers as and when they need it. All the information related to treatment plans, related to all the billings, should be made accessible, should be made available for the patient to access anytime, anywhere. And most importantly, when patient goes back to his country, how do you support the patient for the faster recovery and rehabilitation has always been the challenge. So you can imagine, for a healthcare provider, they are responsible only for the treatment when the patient is inside their vicinity. Yeah. So what matters most is that how can we link that broken communication between the patient and the treating doctor in the hospital. So our app called Cured, which we have very recently launched, it does exactly the same. So we really are not, right from the day when we have never focused just around selling healthcare services, because you can't sell healthcare services. You're not selling shoes, or you're not selling a car or a bike. You're in the business of assisting people. You're in the business of providing the comfort to the people who are fighting for their lives. So creating experience, helping them to take the right decision has been the major objective. And our technology, our initial, very recent product is doing exactly the same.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's great news. Considering that a patient has to go through the whole rigmarole from pillars to post when it comes to treatment, and I'm glad to know that MediGence is solving that to such an extent. I mean, pretty streamlined. The experience is seamless with MediGence, so that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What made you think of something like this? I mean, has it ever happened with you? Have you?
I think really, so it's a very good question, but very difficult to answer. So I'll try my best to do the justice.
The reason the question is because I can understand the pain of a customer when it comes to going for that treatment, particular let's say diagnosis of particular disease. Everybody says so like we know no two people are the same. Everybody says something suits their business needs, right? No one is unbiased in their advice. No one is transparent. So that is what to this question. Has it ever happened with you before?
I mean, with all due respect, healthcare fraternity is one of the most important industry.
It is indeed, yeah.
Well-being of people, and I have a huge respect for the healthcare providers. They're doing their best to provide the best services to the patients. But yet, we find a major gap in the overall communication and collaboration of the patients with the healthcare providers. Okay. So just to answer your original question, what made me think, or what made us think to do something like what MediGence has been doing, just beyond recommending hospitals and doctors. I would rather than say, see, I've always been, at the customer centric role, having worked for Fortune 500 customers and large customers across industry verticals, including healthcare. It gives me a different perspective. It gives me a perspective of creating the best patient, I say the best customer experience. So I still remember when I started MediGence, it has not been an easy journey for me. We have gone a major hiccups initial 2 years, but one thing that made us grow strongly is a belief that what we are doing, what we wish to achieve as an organization, is something that would add tremendous value to the whole ecosystem. Initially, before starting MediGence, we did a research for about a year and a half. I personally traveled to various places. I met a lot of doctors, hospitals. I met quite a few patients. I listened to them. I listened to their experiences. I listened to the healthcare providers. What is important for them. Is it just a revenue, or is it also the feasibility of a patient? Because when you have a happy customer, this is applicable to all the industries. When you have one happy customers, you get 10 more customers, and henceforth. But when you have one unhappy customer, he's going to spoil your market in his word. So it has always been it is always known to us as a fact. So a lot of my prior discussions in the industry and my own perspective of building something to add value helped us to do what we are doing, and it is just a start, Harsh. It is just a start because a lot of companies are doing OPD camps in a lot of countries. It's definitely a great initiative. I mean, I must applaud such companies putting efforts in going to the world and providing on ground consultations to the patients. But I really, as an entrepreneur, as a technology entrepreneur, I really want to avoid doing it. I don't want to really do it in volume because technology has no role to play there. So my next milestone is to actually create that as a process in the technology itself, so that it is done more effectively, more efficiently, and more conveniently for everybody. Be it the healthcare providers, be it patients, be it the accessibility, and henceforth.
That's perfect. I really appreciate the way you think. You have organized these steps, and you always think of the customers. That's perfect. I mean, yeah. So perfect. My next question, Amit, to you would be, although you've partially answered it, what are the biggest challenges that you foresee, or that you have already encountered in the journey with MediGence so far?
And the challenge continues. The problem continues.
Yeah, they always do. Yeah.
Because what happens is, when we started MediGence, so the challenges are of different types in nature. If you look at this specifically medical travel industry, this is a highly agent-driven industry where you would find anybody and everybody claiming to be the medical service provider, claiming to be offering 24 by 7 patient support services, having built a sophisticated website, investing in PPCs, investing in digital marketing, generating inquiries. This has been the trend, you know. So I really want to talk positive. I mean, everybody has their way of looking at things. Everybody has their way of executing business. So the biggest challenge that we had observed in this business is the transformation from offline to online, or I would rather say transformation of patients choosing or taking decisions using technology, leveraging technology instead of just talking to an agent and asking for the options and the cost. So there has been a major shift. We have been working in that direction. Having said that, yes, we are getting some friction as well. But I'm good. I'm good because I know we don't have really a plan for next 1 year in place. We have a very strong technology roadmap for next five years, where we really want to be the world's #1 technology company to create better patient experiences. And just to let you know, the patient experience is not just about creating a website and running ads. That's a sales initiative. I'm also doing that. But our purpose of executing the digital marketing strategy is the first step to help people take the right decision, because then our technology comes into the picture.
Right. Perfect. Right. So I'll quickly head to our last question, Amit. Since I understand you're running out of time, you also have to take care of your projects and you have to fly out. So, like you shared with me earlier, the last question to you would be: what is your advice to the fraternity, to the aspiring entrepreneurs, people who want to do something for the ecosystem, for the society? What's your advice? What are the particular skills they must focus on? So, it'd be good to hear from you.
Oh, very interesting question, Harsh. Thank you for asking it. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. I see a lot of people giving a lot of gyan.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about, or I would rather say, a lot of people emphasizing on funding. VCs talking about funding. It is good. I mean, funding is important, but it is important at the stage when you have the right business model in place, when you are able to build a very strong revenue model in place, when it is proved, you have customers, you have presence in different markets, you have partners, you have an excellent team. So for me, I always whenever I talk to entrepreneurs, I always tell them that, hey, instead of really wasting your time and effort in creating those fancy pitches for the investors, it is worth putting efforts in some other direction. Work towards vision. Have a very strong belief that what you want to do is going to add value to the community. This is what matters most end of the day. If you start with the journey with the focus to attract investors, I'm sorry, my dear friend, it is not going to work like that. It doesn't work like that. So be innovative, work towards creating better future, and trust me, everything will follow you. It's just a matter of time.
Perfect. Thank you very much for such a meaningful conversation with us, Amit, and for sharing all the insight and best practices and your advice for entrepreneurs. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We wish MediGence all the best, and we'd love to touch base with you again, and we'll have a conversation around.
Thank you for having me with you. Thank you. It was awesome talking to you, and I hope our listeners, the users would love reading my journey.
Yeah.
And I'm always in anticipation of advices, suggestions to get better because I always believe there is always a scope of improvement, and I'm a great learner as an entrepreneur. Thank you very much.
That's again a lesson for aspiring entrepreneurs that you should be open to feedback and suggestions. So thank you very much again, Amit. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
And you're pleasure talking to you, buddy. Have a good day and best of luck to your team doing some good work. Thank you.
So we'll keep bringing such stories to you. Do subscribe our YouTube channel, subscribe to our online magazine, BrilliantRead.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn so that you can keep yourself updated. We are here to add value to your lives. Thank you.